So, this is Call Her Daddy.
Yes, I have had sex, Alex.
Can you tell me when you lost your virginity or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never talked about this on the internet. This is so fun.
Well, this is Call Her Daddy and I'll get roasted if I don't ask.
I also, like, in my personal life, I talk about sex all the time.
Yeah.
That's why it's so fucking weird for me that I never talk about it. Like, I'm not like, I talk about it all the time. So it's like not.
And you're not saying in your show, you just mean in real life.
Yeah, like in real life, I talk about it all the time.
Dude,
so
when
it's
we
weird
had
that I
Zoomed
don't.
that time, you were talking about it with me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like even just sex. She's not like, Emma's not like a nympho. Like
I have so much sex, you guys.
Right. But like I was surprised. I remember on that Zoom how naturally you discussed just like, oh yeah, like I loved that. Like I've listened to your show and I was like, oh shit, I had no fucking idea. Your brand is very specific and it's not that you're avoiding it. It's just, it's not talked about.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, if something's not talked about, then how are you supposed to like know where someone stands on a topic? And it's interesting because I just like, it's so bizarre to like talk about it, but it's also kind of fun.
Okay,
because I feel like I'm old enough now. Like I'm finally old enough where I get to talk about it.
It was like the Disney Channel effect. It was like when Miley Cyrus was like, I have to go to such extreme and go like dance on a pole because like everyone sees me as a baby and I need them to not see me as that.
Meanwhile, she was like probably like fucking smoking weed on set of
Yes,
Hannah Montana.
yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there's so many things that like
the perceptions can pigeonhole you and then it does affect your identity. And so I can feel you being like, hey guys, like I'm 20.
Yeah.
I can say I've had sex before.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah. Even though your publicist may be like, don't say that.
I don't think, but also like yeah.
Okay, so.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I was 17.
Great age.
It was actually a really not bad experience. Like it was with a guy that I was like seeing at the time that I was pretty comfortable with. And I mean, he was definitely like, you know, he had sex lots of times and I obviously hadn't, but he was like great. He like really like, I don't know, it was just like, it was one of the most jarring experiences for me though in my entire life, because it was one of those things where it was something I just like never believed was possible for myself, because I, you know, growing up I had these experiences of people like, you know, doubting my sexuality. You know, I even had moments where like I was kind of like, I don't even know if I like anyone. Like I went through phases where I was like, I feel nothing towards anyone, and like I don't even know if like I'm ever gonna like somebody enough to, you know, let them in like that. And I also was like, I don't feel like anybody wants to do this with me, you know, like nobody's ever looked at me in a sexual way before, at least to my face, so like I don't think that this is possible. And so when it was happening I was like, oh, I was like, this is just like, feels like everything's like shifting in my life, you know, because I was like, damn, this is like a new chapter. And I felt I had weirdly like imposter syndrome with it, right? Because I was like, I don't feel like, I'm like, are you sure that you want to do this? I'm like, nobody's ever wanted to do this, so I don't know why you want to do this. And also I had a huge crush on this guy at the time, so like, you know, it was even more crazy for me. And in retrospect, I can look back and be like, no, like, I was being hard on myself, and I didn't need to be like that. But it hurt really bad. That's all.
Dude, no one should ever be like, my first time was incredible. Like, no.
It was so awful. We didn't even have sex.
Right. It's like a movement, and then you're like, all right, we did it, because it's like, one, no one has you're not gonna have an orgasm. Yeah, it's not gonna fit. You're not experienced. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing. You don't know what you're supposed to be feeling. It's almost like, let me just get through this. Not in like a creepy way. It's more just like no one's going to be relaxed and chill.
It doesn't get fun until you're like
older.
Yes. And even like then, like, there's always more to learn.
Always. And really, I think the weird thing is like, as I've learned through my show, is like, it really starts with yourself. And a lot of people don't feel comfortable starting sexually with themselves until you get a little bit older.
Right.
Because there's like a lot of weird shame. And especially if you haven't felt this like feminine sexual energy.
Yeah.
You're so in your head that to even like be by yourself and masturbating, you're already thinking outside of your body.
Yes.
About how you're
totally.
I'm not sexual. This is weird. What am I? And you get in your head.
Well, you also are like, it's so true. I mean, I've had moments like on a personal level, but also like with other people, like when I'm, like where I've just been, I've gotten into my head and been like almost embarrassed, where I'm like, bitch, you are not. Stop. Like, stop being like,
like stop faking it. Like you're on top and you're like, this doesn't feel genuine.
I'm like, this is not, it feels like out of character.
Yes.
And it doesn't feel like it aligns with me. And like,
and you
that's
want to
why
do
I hate going on top. Because I'm like, I don't want to have to fucking think about me.
No, but I think it's okay to say in terms of like sexually, it's hard, especially growing up where I will admit, like my show, as much as it probably gave women confidence, it also probably drew a big hole in people's sex lives being like, wait, I don't do that. And like, I've never, and then you get insecure.
Totally.
And again, porn and everything makes you feel like you've got to be this like sexual deviant.
Oh, yeah.
And so when you're like, again, like a position like on top, eyes are on you and you're like, okay, so I know I'm supposed to start like moaning and then like I should like throw my head back and like, but naturally right now, like I feel a little out of body imposter syndrome of like, I don't feel that yet. And it's weird.
But also like if you're like, for me personally, I'm not like, I don't fucking like want to, it doesn't excite me to like do crazy shit necessarily. I just don't, but it's like people are very judgmental about if you're like, it's not like I'm not a sexual person. There's definitely that side of me, but I also am like not a super sexual person. And like, there are times when I'm like, it doesn't need to be this like whole crazy thing. Like, it's just, it just is what it is. And like, I don't feel like I don't want to fucking perform. I don't want to, it just, and I think that the expectation to perform might actually end up being detrimental too at times, because you're like, it's all about like figuring out what the vibe is. And like, if you're just like, well, the vibe doesn't feel like making really loud sounds right now, but I'm just going to do it anyway because I saw it in porn yesterday.
And then you get into that pattern and then you're like, when can I stop?
It's like kind of like, but then it takes away from the intimacy of it.
Yes.
You should just disappear and like not think.
Yes.
And like let it happen.
Yeah.
And that's it. You just have to get out of your own way.
I will also say, I think what you're saying is the majority and the norm, but people publicly don't admit that.
I know.
And so it's like, let's just say it. Like,
I
it's
will
true.
admit that I like will enjoy okay, I know you're gonna hate what I was just about to say, so I'm not gonna say it. Wait, but should I say it anyways?
What? And then I'll cut it out.
On Call Her Daddy, I will admit that I enjoy vanilla sex.
I think that's okay. Like, you're not trying to like you're not
boring sex.
Like, you're not trying to like swing from the. I think that's totally fine.
What's wrong with like fucking like
a good missionary and then like one other positionary
and then go to bed? What is wrong with
Nothing.
it? I don't need to fucking like literally do a helicopter background fucking fuck
like
flip all over. I don't
No.
want to do that. I also like feel like I mean, listen, okay, yeah. There's moments when you can be crazy. There's moments when you can be fun. I get it. That's like once in a blue moon. In reality, it doesn't need to be like that.